What is up, Bitcoiners, and welcome to the Bitcoin Entrepreneur Show. We are back, and it is a beautiful day on a Sunday morning, and we're going to be doing this every single week. So if you're very interested in Bitcoin and the different topics we go through on this channel, then hit subscribe and also hit the like button, because we're about to get right into this. So as of right now, we are dealing with the Bitcoin price of $70,984. Now that is as of this point. Obviously it's going to change a little bit, but just to reference the timestamp of this video, that is what the price point we're at is. And we have a interesting topic today, and it's one of my favorite apps and companies that I'm dealing with right now in terms of building Bitcoin systems, Bitcoin wealth systems. So let's just get right into it. So this app I'm talking about is called Go Mining, and this is going to be the topic today. What is Go Mining, you may ask? Go Mining is a company where they have infrastructure of Bitcoin mining rigs, right? And they also have an entire ecosystem built around what some would say is a shitcoin, but probably if you're going to compare, it's a good shitcoin. I mean, it has a lot of opportunity. So let's get into this. What is Go Mining? Go Mining is tokenized mining exposure. So you have an app. You can download this app anywhere. Link is in the bio, and you can get some benefits I'll bring up later for joining my affiliate link. But pretty much what you do on this app is you're buying tokenized hash power. We talked about hash power in the last episode. Hash power is pretty much just what is the power behind mining the Bitcoin that you have, right? So the Bitcoin that's in circulation, you're mining the Bitcoin. So what Go Mining is they have infrastructure all around the US and other countries of the top level mining equipment for Bitcoin. So they have the highest level computers and ASIC chip technology that we're dealing with, and you can have a part of that, because what they've done is they've tokenized it. So you can have that hash power yourself in a small amount. You can own infrastructure in Bitcoin mining in a reasonable, affordable amount. Okay, and there's some caveats to this into how you can maintain your profits and all this, but I'm going to go over this in this episode. So the thing is with mining is you have to own your own ASICs, application specific integrated circuits. I've said this in past episodes. So it's non-self custody. Like you can have your own miners, but on Go Mining, you're trusting another company to hold your hash power. So they have all this infrastructure. They have warehouses full of miners. You can actually watch them live across the US on their app. And again, all the information is in the description. But you have a piece of the mining infrastructure of Bitcoin. So that's super cool. You're buying exposure to Bitcoin mining, like you're not running your own hardware, because hardware can get super expensive. It can get super annoying. You have to take care of it. It's like running a full, it's like running a full power plant almost. There's a lot to it that you don't want to do in your own garage. But guess what? You can do it from your iPhone or your Samsung or your computer. So this is the beauty of this app and this company. So let me get into this. So how does Go Mining work? Okay, so what you do is you start out by buying terahash. Now terahashes are, it's the unit of power that you use to mine Bitcoin. Okay. The mining runs 24/7 without your involvement, because these are data centers around the world, right? And also around the world, meaning that they can take different advantages from like different states and different countries, loopholes around the taxes. You can own these systems and have tax deductions. It's a business, right? Bitcoin mining is a business. So let's just get right into this. These machines that you own via an NFT on the blockchain. So this is in theory, this would be your right to own this thing. You own this piece of the company in the form of an NFT. So then the NFT is on the blockchain. So it's completely transparent, and it's completely yours. You can verify that it's yours. And so if this came up in any like court case or something within the company, it's like you own this asset, this part of the terahash network that Go Mining runs. So this would be a legal way that you could essentially own a piece of the Bitcoin mining infrastructure, essentially forever, as long as Go Mining stays a company that is running and profitable, and they don't go under. But Bitcoin mining is a very lucrative infrastructure in terms of how Go Mining handles it, right? Because Go Mining is not just the Bitcoin mining. They have a whole ecosystem behind it with the Go Mining token, and we'll get into this. But let's just, go slowly with this because we're just starting here. So how Go Mining works is that you buy the terahash. You use your fiat to buy the terahash. Your miners run forever. Like they run infinitely because you're not controlling them. It's another company that's controlling them. But because it's another company that's controlling them, you are responsible for the electricity fees for your own set of miners, how much terahash you own, and the maintenance fees that are required to keep these miners running, right? So you pay maintenance fees and you pay electricity fees, but you're earning the Bitcoin earnings minus the maintenance and electricity fees straight to your wallet. Completely transparent, okay? You can withdraw or reinvest whenever you want. You can reinvest back in Go Mining tokens, which we'll go over why that's important. Or you can reinvest back into terahash to grow your miners. But then, obviously, if you're reinvesting, you're not getting the Bitcoin rewards back. So this is just basic business, basic reinvestments, basic things. But these are important because people don't necessarily know how these scenarios work, obviously. So with this, your rewards are not fixed necessarily. Like you have there's a lot of different things that go into this. But what we're building here is a system for earning Bitcoin. And that's kind of half the point of this channel is Bitcoin entrepreneurs. We're learning how to use Bitcoin as your store of value over time, gain wealth over time for your family. But this requires using systems as well, because otherwise you just have your Bitcoin stack, but it's not actually earning anything. So this is why we can use these things to actually earn more Bitcoin every single day, like with Go Mining. So these things depend on a couple things. Bitcoin price is pretty much the biggest one because the Bitcoin price, it's volatile, right? It goes up and down. So when these prices go up and down, that means your rewards for your terahash are going to go up and down. Because we've also talked in other videos how when the power consumption of the Bitcoin miners is high, you earn less Bitcoin. When it's low, you earn more Bitcoin. So this is the balancing act between the Bitcoin and the proof of work network. Same thing with Go Mining. When you have Go Mining, you have a certain amount of terahash, and you actually purchase that terahash with fiat per se, and then you get rewarded every single day on how much Bitcoin was earned from your terahash minus electricity and maintenance fees. Now, this is still lucrative and it's still profitable if you can maintain this. So this will require you to probably have like some sort of a ongoing investment, but the whole point is that you're earning the Bitcoin and you're purchasing into the Bitcoin mining infrastructure. So over time, you would be able to make more money based off the returns of Bitcoin every single day. So you're building a system that earns you Bitcoin every day, but it doesn't mean that you don't have to keep up with this system. So I hope all that makes sense. But it's based off of the mining difficulty, the fees, and the Bitcoin price. And this is all, it's all calculatable. Is that a word? Calculable? You can calculate all this through the Go Mining website. So, with all that said, with Go Mining, let me just tell you about the benefits for signing up with my link in the description. You can get 5% Terahash bonuses on your first miner. Okay, you get 20% cash back in Terahash for the first $100 spent with the Go Mining card, because they now have a debit card that's linked with the Go Mining account. And you can get 30 days of Go Mining Platinum for free by signing up. So, link in the bio, you can do all that. Plus 10% on your Tangent wallet. Why Go Mining exists? Let's bring this up. So, to get into the mining network of Bitcoin, there's a high barrier there. There's a expense barrier there, because you have to be able to buy these miners that are up to date. And the reason why it's up to date is because of Moore's Law. This is the efficiency levels within Go Mining. So over time, you have to take your miners and you have to upgrade them with real money in order to make them more efficient, so they don't take as much electricity fees out from your efficient miners as your non-efficient miners. So you want to upgrade your efficiency as much as you can at the time. This efficiency level will lower and lower as time goes on, because it would become more efficient over time. This is just what happens. This is Moore's Law. So you have to keep up with these investments, but it will earn you Bitcoin every single day forever. So there's an ROI associated with that. And that ROI would be a return on investment, if you didn't know. So that could be, 2 years, it could be 4 years. These are typical business investments. This is what people don't understand, because they would say, "Oh, well, I haven't gotten, much Bitcoin out of my miners, like whatever." This is an investment app. You're waiting for the long term. You're gathering Bitcoin in this app. That's the main point that I want to bring up to you. And I'll bring this up more through this episode, but let's get back to the high barrier of mining. So there's a cost to mining. You have to buy expensive rigs, because the rigs are getting better and better over time. And this is something that, like, everybody knows, especially if you're a Bitcoiner, you know that the electronics get better and better over time. So like the cheapest power is where the Bitcoin miners are, flowing towards. You would want the cheapest power in order to earn Bitcoin, because Bitcoin essentially would be an appreciating asset, right? So that would make perfect sense. You would want to buy the cheapest power to get the appreciating asset, right? So this is why I brought up in the other episode how you can go to different countries and find the stranded energy, stuff like that, and be able to create value from this energy that's not being used, or it's the cheap energy. Go Mining, it simplifies your access into mining at a cheap rate, because they have so much infrastructure, and they're a company, obviously. So like, they're able to have the capital from us, the miners, the digital miners, let's say. But this is way different than cloud mining. Like, cloud mining's fake. This isn't cloud mining. Like, they might even say it's cloud mining, but you're dealing with real infrastructure here. You're not just using like fractional reserves, like the banks do, and being like over leveraged and stuff. Like you're earning from the miners that are actually mining Bitcoin as you speak. So that's a big part of this. The entry is easy. There's barely any setup. There's no noise. You don't have to deal with anything. It's all just within the app, right? And you just get daily Bitcoin flow. And granted, that daily Bitcoin flow is variable, but that's part of the volatility of the Bitcoin network. All that matters is that you're stacking the Bitcoin, because if you have a certain amount of terahash that's earning Bitcoin every day, and then the Bitcoin network increases, that means your reward increases. Regardless of the electricity fees and difficulty levels, you're still going to have those. But the point is that you're gathering the Satoshis, the sats, which is the smaller, which is, the cent of the dollar, essentially. The value of the Satoshis that you're getting is going to go up. So it could possibly be, a decade from now, because right as we speak, it's April 12th, 2026. Okay, so let's say you invested $10,000 into Go mining and you have miners. That $10,000 would, I don't know the math right now, but it's something like $24 per terahash, something like that right now. I could be wrong. I haven't checked the exact terahash or exact dollar amount per terahash right now, but in a decade, so we would have, 36, you might be making 10x, 100x on your investment daily from your Bitcoin rewards. And again, there are fees associated and stuff, but the whole point is that you're stacking sats. You have a system that gives you Satoshis every single day based on an investment in fiat, and that's super important. And this kind of ties right into my next segment onto why not just buy Bitcoin instead of buying terahash, buying from Go mining. This whole channel is built around entrepreneurs around Bitcoin. And it's great to own Bitcoin, and I want you to have Bitcoin and buy Bitcoin in cold storage, but also it can be beneficial to build systems around Bitcoin, because this is the point. You want to be able to create the greatest asset on the planet and have an income of the greatest asset on the planet, as opposed to just buying and letting it just sit somewhere, right? In cold storage, which is what is recommended. I have a video about this on cold wallets. On Bitcoin Entrepreneurs here, we want to be able to build systems. So let's go through this a little bit. Why not just buy Bitcoin? And again, let me just say, buying Bitcoin is great. I want you all to buy Bitcoin and keep it safe in cold storage. But the thing is, the Bitcoin in your cold storage doesn't earn you anything except for appreciation over time. But what if you could have a system that you invest into that earns you Bitcoin every single day? That's awesome. I mean, imagine if you had, in 2010 when Amazon was ticking off, imagine if you had a machine that would just give you Amazon stock or Facebook stock or Tesla stock or whatever other company every single day, and you just you just get the stocks into your account every day. That would be super lucrative, because you'd be able to just keep that, and then something like 2020 happens and then Amazon goes boom, right? So Bitcoin is going to go boom. I mean, let's just say that, right? It's probably going to be clipped, but Bitcoin is going to go boom because of global asset adoption. So we went into that in the last episode. So let's just bring this up. Why wouldn't you just buy Bitcoin instead of buying Go mining? The thing is, again, we're building systems here. So you buy Bitcoin, and what happens is it's full self-custody. You can keep it on your own, which is great. There's no counterparty risk. If you have it in cold storage, you just keep it safe on the blockchain where it is. And it's just exposure completely to the price of Bitcoin. Completely recommended, right? But with Go mining, what you have is you have exposure to the production of the Bitcoin. So it's like if it's pretty much like if you bought gold versus if you bought gold and also bought a gold mining company. Like clearly there's a lot of lucrative situations in there, right? So instead of just having a stack of Bitcoin, which again is great, I don't want to defer you from any of this. Buy Bitcoin and keep it safe in cold storage, but you're going to have a Bitcoin flow instead of just the lump sum. So you have the lump sum, and then you also have a flow of Bitcoin that's coming in every day that you can send directly to your cold storage wallet. This is great. This is incredible. I mean, right? In a perfect world, what you would want is a stack of Bitcoin in cold storage and something that produces Bitcoin that you can just send every, week or month or however you like to do it to your cold storage. Your cold storage Bitcoin is growing absent you having to actually spend more money into it, just based off whatever investment you make, and then you have to keep up with that investment. So it's almost like the real estate of Bitcoin, because what you would have to do is you would have to maintain the property, which would be Go mining, but it's just the fees and the electricity fees that come out. And then you get to keep all the rest of the Bitcoin. You don't have to deal with anything else. So you're just getting a constant flow of Bitcoin, and there's an ROI associated with that. And eventually, when the Bitcoin price goes up, you're going to crush your ROI, and you're still going to be earning every single day from your Bitcoin, from your terahash. So once you break your ROI, you're just essentially increasing your Bitcoin. But this requires you to learn about the ecosystem. So I'm not just saying go and, buy a small amount of terahash and expect like big rewards. It's like this is a system that you have to maintain. So when you buy the Bitcoin, you own the asset, which is awesome. But when you invest in Go mining, what you're doing is participating in how the asset is produced. And that's extremely powerful. I mean, again, like you're earning the most powerful asset on the planet every single day. Like you have a piece of the infrastructure, and it's not just cloud mining, which is just speculation and economics trying to even out on buying Bitcoin and selling you contracts. Like you're actually investing into the miners that are mining the Bitcoin. Like that's super powerful. And I'm sure a lot of you know about this type of stuff, and if you owned the infrastructure, you would understand that producing the Bitcoin and the best asset in the world, Bitcoin, you're producing it every single day. That's very powerful. The only difference is there's more variables and more risk with the Bitcoin on Go mining, but it's because you're trusting a separate party, right? But I would just like to tell you, I've done so many transfers on my Go mining account, and I can even show you on the screen here. My Tangem wallet, for example, like I have a Tangem wallet. This is the ring that's associated with my Tangem wallet, and it's also attached to 2 different cards. And I also have a Ledger cold storage wallet. So I've sent to both from my Go mining account. It's simple. 0 fees if you do it for 24 hours, a 24-hour transfer. But it takes like 5 hours. It doesn't take 24 hours, and you have no fees. So the whole point here is that we're trying to get like ongoing Bitcoin production. You have a cash flow account of Bitcoin. So like imagine if you have, I'm sure some of you are familiar with like the stock market. So if you have an account on the stock market, let's say you have a traditional IRA and you invest in dividend accounts. Those dividend accounts are going to pay you either monthly or every quarter in dividends. This is essentially the same thing. you're buying into Bitcoin, but they're paying you or you're buying into the Bitcoin mining infrastructure, sorry. So, and then you're getting income every single day from your investment in the Bitcoin mining infrastructure. This is just, this is the apex of what you would want. You would want to hold Bitcoin, and you would also want to have a system that earns you Bitcoin every single day. And that took a fiat investment. And by fiat, I mean dollars, right? But you would want to trade in the dollars, which is the depreciating currency, into an appreciating asset, right? This would be the way to get rich. It's it's a system built on top of Bitcoin that's going to give you a yield of Bitcoin. So you may ask, like, allocation, like what do I do? Well, it's pretty much however your goals are and what your strategy is, because you could just have 80-90% of your allocation into Bitcoin. That's great. But you could also then put 10 to 20% into like mining. And so you could have a small percent into mining, you have your massive Bitcoin stack, and that's great. And then you're also earning an income into Bitcoin. So you look on your app every day and like maybe, you're making, you invested a decent amount of money. You're making $4 of Bitcoin a day from Go mining. Then every month you're tossing in a decent amount of Bitcoin into your cold storage. Like, that's great. But you also have a big stack of cold storage Bitcoin that's not making you anything. But that's your retirement, let's say, or your savings. Like, that's great, but you have something that's flowing into it apart from just doing like a DCA, because it would just be based off of like one investment, or one investment every 6 months to maintain your investment vehicle in Go mining, because maybe every 6 months you're updating terahash, you're upgrading your amount of earning power in the Bitcoin network, or you're upgrading your efficiency to keep up with Moore's law and with technology increasing. So we have all sorts of allocations you can do. You can even do 50-50 if you want. It just depends on what your risk tolerance is. Because the thing is, what you're doing is like, you have your base layer, which is the Bitcoin network, which is your Bitcoin that you hold. So you have a stack in cold storage, but it's not doing anything apart from just appreciating based on the price. But if you then decide to allocate some dollars into Go mining, then you have an infrastructure based off real Bitcoin mining that is paying you Bitcoin every single day. So then you can have, your cold storage wallet sitting there, secure, appreciating, but then Bitcoin is flowing in there every single month or every single week, right in there, because it's free. Once you have set up your Go mining account and you reach a certain amount of Bitcoin, and it's not that much, I think it's like $10, you can send it to your cold storage wallet, 0 fees, over a 24-hour period. But it's never a 24-hour period. It's way quicker than that. But it's free. I mean, there's no fees involved. You're mining the Bitcoin, you're getting the Bitcoin, you're sending it to your cold storage. This is systems. This is the whole thing about the Bitcoin Entrepreneurs channel, is that we're building systems on top of Bitcoin and figuring out how to have, generational wealth in your cold storage for your family and for your children. But you can build on top of that and have cash flow funds going straight into it. And this is great. All right, so with all that being said, there is another mode on the Go mining app, and it's a very interesting one. It's called Miner Wars. Okay, so Miner Wars is like a gamified version. It's like a gambling version met with Bitcoin mining. So it's a little more risky, but also then with risk comes more chances to actually earn more. So what happens is there's clans, which are like, akin to like teams of people that they compete for the rewards. Okay. All of the terahash of all the people that are in your clan are allocated into battles. So all the terahash will be combined in a number sequence to battle for the blocks on the blockchain. Now, you can also use boosts, which you use your Go mining tokens, which you would either have to buy or earn in other systems. Like you can have Go mining tokens that are locked on the app that will earn you interest, like proof of stake. Where you're staking coins, where you can earn an interest rate. It's like a savings account almost. So you lock away these tokens, then you get an interest rate. So then that means you're earning Go mining tokens every single week. So then you can use your interest rate to get the tokens, to use them for boosts. And what boosts do is per round in the Miner Wars game, with all the hash power involved, you can use tokens to buy artificial power, boost your clan's score, so that essentially you can build your score up and then break the block. And once the block on the blockchain is broken, whoever's system within the Go mining infrastructure, whose ever miner broke the block with their, power, electricity, gets a reward. And then in Go mining tokens, they get a reward. And then everybody in the clan who associated their terahash power into the round gets a split Bitcoin reward. So everybody wins, but then the person who hit the block wins a larger reward in terms of Go mining token. And then what they can do with that Go mining token are a couple things. They can use it to pay for electricity prices and maintenance fees, which would increase your Bitcoin reward. They can use it to upgrade terahash or efficiency on your miners, or they can again put it back in a lock to earn more interest later every week and get a larger sum of Go mining tokens back from your bigger lock. I hope all that makes sense. But yeah, so there's a philosophical aspect to this, where most people think in terms of they just buy their Bitcoin and then they put it in cold storage, which is completely recommended, but then they just wait. Their money's just kind of sitting there. But then Go mining flips that in terms of you can get in and have an income on your Bitcoin miners. So you can buy into an infrastructure of Bitcoin mining and then get a daily flow of Bitcoin. So one day, for example, right now, I believe I make between $3 and $4 worth of Bitcoin every day. Now this is minimized because I owe electricity fees and I owe maintenance fees. Now if I had a bigger Bitcoin lock or a bigger Go mining lock or more Go mining tokens in my wallet, this would mitigate the fees a bit. But I have a lock and I have a balance in my wallet, but it's not enough to offset all of the fees. So I get a certain amount of Bitcoin rewards that is less than $3 or $4 a day. But I still get Bitcoin every single day. So this is a compounding effect. And it's all based off of the Bitcoin price. So if the Bitcoin price 10x's, then my reward in theory would 10x or somewhere around 10x, because you have to deal with, again, the difficulties and the fees. But you're still earning more Bitcoin. You're still earning the asset. So if Bitcoin goes up to, 500,000, I'm going to earn more from my investment of Terahash, because regardless of the fees, you're still earning the Bitcoin, which is worth more. And also, you can mitigate the fees. You just have to be able to have the fiat capital to be able to put into it. Again, it's an investment app. You have to level these things out. It's the balancing act, just like the whole Bitcoin network is. So I might be making, $3.60 every day off my terahash. And then, in 10 years, I might be making $36 a day. And clearly that would be way more lucrative and helpful in the system on top of the Bitcoin that I run in my Go mining account. But the whole point is that I'm getting Bitcoin every single day. And instead of earning $3, I would be earning $36 with no more investment. I could invest more, and I would recommend investing more, but it's based off the Bitcoin price. So you could end up putting a small investment in and earning a bigger investment down the line just based off that one single investment, because of the fact that the Bitcoin price goes up, as long as you can keep up with the efficiency and Moore's law. So there's a idea here behind the Bitcoin Entrepreneurs channel that you can build systems on top of your Bitcoin wealth. So you have your stack of Bitcoin, but you can build systems on there. And you can there's other ways that you can earn Bitcoin on top of your stack. So instead of just purchasing for one time of Bitcoin, once you break the return on investment of that one purchase from Go mining, you'll earn more Bitcoin every day. You just have to wait the amount of time. And that's really what Bitcoin is based off of, is time. So it's a different mindset. It's just based off like it's not just like, when do I buy a one-time purchase of Bitcoin versus like how much is coming in today. So like you could have both, because every week you might get paid. I'm going to put a DCA into Bitcoin. But then also you go, okay, but also I'm earning this much from my investment on Bitcoin. So I'm going to put some money into my Bitcoin investment so that the return on Bitcoin will be bigger for the future every day, since I put that investment in, because I bought more terahash. So you can split it up. It's just however your risk tolerances are. So it's long-term thinking. Like if you can generate Bitcoin daily and reinvest over time, then that's super powerful. Like you're building a system that can feed itself, it'll grow over time, and it'll run indefinitely, assuming that the company is growing. But with this model that Go mining runs off of, they're super profitable. Like it's like, and if a company is profitable, then odds are they're going to be around forever. It's just how companies work. I mean, forever is a strong word, but you know what I mean? They can run for long periods of time, and then you're going to be getting the infrastructure, the Bitcoin, every single day. That's super powerful. If you can make Bitcoin daily, that's so powerful. So it's a massive shift from just like, you're trading your time for money, and then you're just buying Bitcoin, which is great. I still recommend that, obviously. But then you're on top of that, you can put another allocation into owning the systems that produce the Bitcoin. And you're producing the Bitcoin daily, and it's extremely transparent. It's just that could be so powerful if you understand the laws of compounding and everything, because you might not always be able to buy Bitcoin every single week. But if you made one investment that keeps putting sats into your cold storage every single week or every single day, even, you could do it depending on how much terahash you have. This is powerful. Okay, it's and your rewards are not necessarily guaranteed, because you could be out, the technology could advance faster than what you can profit on. But that's the whole point in an investment app, where you have to kind of keep up with the efficiency of the machines you're dealing with. But again, this is just the strategy to transform fiat into either Bitcoin for the long term, or into a system that will earn you Bitcoin every single day. So it kind of requires you to be disciplined and a little bit of management and decisions. But if it works over time, then you've just turned Bitcoin into something that doesn't just sit and wait, but it earns you an income. And that's super powerful. And that's pretty much how I want to wrap this up, because the whole idea is that you can turn Bitcoin into a system that produces for you and that produces daily for you, because we're dealing with the blockchain. We're not dealing with something like dividends on a monthly basis. We're dealing with Bitcoin. We're dealing with Bitcoin mining. Bitcoin mining can be daily. And I know some people that have put, hundreds of thousands of dollars into Go mining, earning every single day and earning amounts that are able to allow people to retire based off of an app on your iPhone or your Samsung. So if you want to look into this, and if you want to join my clan on Miner Wars, you're free to do so, because I'm going to leave everything in the link in the description. Also, I don't want to compel you to not become a solo miner and just earn every single day, because on Miner Wars you earn weekly as opposed to daily with solo mining. But either way, signing up with my link, you can get a 5% Terahash bonus on your first miner, 20% cash back in Terahash for your first $100 spent with the Go Mining card, and you can get 30 days of Go Mining Platinum for free if you just sign up with my link. And you don't even have to do any of those. You can just get the 5% Terahash bonus on your first miner, buying a single Terahash to get started, and you can do that right now. You just have to click the link in my bio, and then you can also apply to my clan on Miner Wars in the link below. So with all that being said, I appreciate you all sticking with me and dealing with my rants on Bitcoin. I just really want to spread the Bitcoin network, and I want to spread systems that will allow you to produce, Bitcoin income, because I feel like Bitcoin is the best money, and I just want to be a part of this ever-growing system. So press subscribe if you're interested in this. Every single Saturday we keep going. Also, you can get Tangem 10% off in my bio below, and you can get my book in paperback or PDF version from my website. So with all that being said, I appreciate all of you. Peace.